you're chasing something. You're chasing, I guess, whatever it is it recognition or to be a win or to accomplish certain milestones for yourself.
Yeah.
But I've been in sports all my life, and I can relate to that. Ever since I was 6 years old, training 5-6 times days per week. I was a professional swimmer.
Yeah.
I was professional water polo,
Yeah.
taekwondo.
Yeah.
I was going up and up. And even though I had surgeries that trumped my sports career,
Yeah.
I don't think there's been time in my life except when I had to take some time off from surgeries to where I didn't train or try to accomplish. And that's another reason why I got into bodybuilding. I was going to the gym and I decided, you know what? I want to accomplish something. And so I started this journey. But the one thing that I've been thinking about, it's something that we spoke about last week, and it was kind of, we touched on it when it came to the relationships and how you're building a community or even a partner, to have a partner in your life. And I remember when I was in my 20s, the first time I fell in love. And I thought, oh, that was the one, right? He stopped me from working out.
Right.
And I did, in a sense, and I did work out.
Yeah. A little fluffy. It's good luck.
Is coming. Yay. And I remember when that happened, I remember that I, first of all, gained a lot of weight because I went out of my routine. I didn't understand why he didn't want me to work out. It was nothing wrong with me doing it. But I remember that I recognized it impacted my mental health and impacted our relationship too.
Yeah.
So I recognized that I couldn't not work out, that this is who I am. And this is part of my life.
Yeah.
And of course, this was a big reason why the relationship didn't last. But even now, as a single bodybuilder, it's at the back of my mind again, right? So what is your experience?
With partners in bodybuilding, I can kind of relate to what you were saying. I did have a boyfriend, my boyfriend from my previous relationship, my ex-boyfriend. He introduced me to the gym. I was about 18 years old, and, I didn't go to the gym. I was 100 pounds. I was super skinny. But he was more like a power lifter. And so kind of that relationship you're talking about where you feel like that suppression of who you are. He would we would go to the gym together mostly in the evenings. And this is when I was kind of lifting with no, proper form or technique. But anyways, after the gym, you would be like, why would you look at this person? Why are you looking at him? And that kind of behavior. So I get what you mean when you come from a relationship that's suppressing and being who you are. And even though you are looking at somebody, you're allowed to look at people, right? To me, looking back at that was just wild, that I would get the silent treatment for that. But anyways, obviously that didn't last. But through that, I built some frustration, right? Because I was like, fuck this, I'm out, I don't know, you tell me I can't look at somebody, obviously someone's gonna end up resenting you if you suppress them from just even, talking to people, if people approach you and talking and whatnot, and somebody giving you shit for that, it's just crazy. So, anyways, that didn't work out. But at that point, I was also too very frustrated with men. I was frustrated with men in general. I was like, I'm done. I need to just breathe. And when him and I were done, it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders,
Wow.
Because when someone suppresses you for being who you authentically are, And a lot of that was like in the gym atmosphere. And I think the gym atmosphere can bring out a lot of insecurities as well. That's a whole other topic. Because you got, you know, the gym's always a place kind of, where there's some drama, you know, that happens, and whatnot, or people hitting on each other and like checking each other out.
I'm very far removed from this. Even I go to the gym. I've been to different gyms, and I'm kind of, first of all, I think I don't have my glasses at the gym, and so I don't see, I don't see people, whether they look at me, unless they very obviously are like, hi, Anna. But I also, I don't know, I think I have an inner drama repellent. I don't know, but I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, it's really common, and I guess if you're insecure and you're in the gym, like those insecurities will come out, you know? So, I mean, that's from my own experience being with somebody who was, I mean, in my opinion, insecure, because I don't know why else he would be suppressing my personality, and who I am, and, you know, anyways, whole other story. I was done with men at that time, and then yeah, that's when I found Jeff. And I met him at Bulldog Supplements. Yeah, Jeff. We love Jeff. Jeff's the best. We met at Bulldog Supplements, and you know, they say don't meet people in the gym, right? You never really meet people in the gym. It wasn't the gym. It was a supplement store next to the gym.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay. And he was like, I didn't know if you liked me or not. It was kind of but he said to me, I hate to see you go. Love to watch you leave. You know? And I was like, that guy likes me. But when like relationships and bodybuilding, like I got into that relationship with him and he was already into the bodybuilding lifestyle. So it was very like me, I wasn't in the lifestyle. Oh, I touched my mic there. I wasn't in the lifestyle of bodybuilding. And so he introduced me to that and he showed me the steps and the way and how to live about that way. And so I just kind of went under his wing and then I learned from him, right? He, trained me like a classic physique pro, which is why I quickly went up to, figure in bodybuilding. I passed bikini wellness and then I was too big for them, those categories. And it was like, okay, straight to figure. It's like, cool. And I had no desire to compete at first. It was just, you know, recreational bodybuilding, right? Not competing, just doing it for, you know, health and wellness. But in terms of relationships and bodybuilding, him and I, it works. It like we vibe, we understand each other. But I do know like it is difficult for some partners. I have some friends that have partners that aren't into the lifestyle and it is difficult and there's some friction there, right? Cause like you're either on the same page about it, cause bodybuilding is day in, day out. It's the same thing. Like from the time you wake up to when you go to bed, you're doing everything in your day is around your physique, building your physique or like losing body fat or gaining muscle, right? So, your person has to be on board with that because if they're not and they keep being like, why are you doing this? Right? Then there's like always going to be that friction through the whole day. Right. So,
well, that's what I was thinking exactly about bodybuilding and fitness in general. And even going back to my experience with that, my first love, that it changed the way I look at a partner. Mm-hmm. So now I know what you're saying is that a partner, I would look for someone who would want to build with me, right? It doesn't have to be a bodybuilder. It doesn't have to be someone, right, really into the sport. Yeah. But even just someone who understands my devotion and passion to the sport and understands that when I'm being bitchy, I'm most likely in a cutting season, I'm most likely hungry, which has been for me this week, right? I'm a little bitchy and edgy because I'm hungry, right? But someone who understands that and gives me that grace, right? That, okay, I understand you're hungry. Here, eat a sugar-free Jello because it's 4 calories, right?
100%.
And this is how it's changed me more to recognize that this is who I am. It's part of who I am. And I need someone to acknowledge that as well, I will not be able to give up the gym
Right.
for someone, right?
Right,
Even if it's
right.
Prince Harry coming along, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
lovely, but this is who
Exactly.
I am. I don't want to be changed, and I wouldn't want to give that to them. Wouldn't want to do that to them as well.
Yeah.
But
It is really hard dating a bodybuilder. I'll say that. For somebody that's not in bodybuilding, but to, like you say, understand a person and not having experienced it and still like going through the motions, but still giving your partner that grace and understanding that, yeah, they're going to be irritated, they're going to be hungry, they're going to be, that's, that says a lot about a person.
it does.
It does, because not going through it and behaving that way and being there for your person is huge. Because I do find like a lot of people are naturally selfish, and the people that can kind of overcome that and be there for their partner and do things like, that aren't around food. I think that's the biggest thing. So a
Right.
partner to be supportive around their bodybuilder
Right.
partner and do activities like I've had to come up with so much shit, oh my gosh, what did I do? I would go mini putting. Glow in the dark mini putting. I don't fucking know. It's like things that have nothing to do with food. And I would have like a 0 calorie, mind you, I was 10 weeks out. A 0 calorie, sugar-free energy drink. And I'm mini putting, with my friends, or we're bowling, right? I mean, there's some food in bowling. You kind of want to go for things that don't have
what
food
about
around.
a gym date?
A gym date,
First gym date. I love it. Have you? I mean, you're in a relationship. I've had guys been like, "Oh, let's work out together,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm there to. I love it, but
Yeah.
I love the gym. I know if you're coming from the perspective of let's do things like, but I'm kind of in the zone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe I guess it builds intimacy when you're pushing with someone. You work out with Jeff.
Well, there's a lot of different dynamics, I think, when it comes to that. That's very, I mean, a lot of the stuff that we talk about is very general, right? Like, there's so many different perspectives on these types of things in relationships and bodybuilding, and so many different dynamics. And so there's a lot of different people that I've talked to that have like different perspective training with partners. Some hate training with their partner because they're like, I don't want to be told, you know what I'm saying? But then there's others that are like me, like I love training with Jeff, Jeff taught me how to like do it, and I respect him, and we have that mutual, like that bond together where it's like, he'll lead the workout session and I just follow,
love
and
that.
it's always been that way.
So
with him and I.
maybe there is, I don't want to always put extremes where, a bodybuilder cannot date a person who's not into bodybuilding. Maybe I like to believe that a bodybuilder can inspire that person, maybe lead them into that even healthier lifestyle, not necessarily bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. Or if you're dating a bodybuilder, you can enrich each other, and that's what I think the goal is, to support each other and enrich each other, however that is.
Yeah. And you should be each other's number one fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to see your person succeed, like, why are you even in the relationship? Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you want to see that person win. You're like, okay, babe, like, you're going to do your show. Let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just, and some people aren't like that. And I'm like, hey, you need to really, really think about that, because they should be like your top number one. You should want to see them and screaming like from the crowd, like at the top of your lungs for this person, It should be like that.
What if the person is like really against, and now that's me thinking, if my future partner is just not hitting the gym at all, if it's not just hitting the gym at all,
I feel like that's difficult. That's really difficult, because there's a certain level, like when it comes to fit, like you don't have to compete, obviously, but there's a certain level of like holding yourself up at a standard and taking care of yourself and your general health that needs to be met by both parties. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you have somebody that's not training, and then somebody that is, then, you know, I mean, I guess this kind of goes with the same thing too with like fit and not fit, right? There's like,
Explain it to me.
there's different, I feel like I'm gonna be like such a bitch.
No. We're being honest here.
There's
but
like-
come on, we're being honest here. But
Okay.
there is I guess you're right. Maybe this is the different type of lifestyle.
There's lanes.
There's
lanes.
fit, fit. Okay, what if
Lanes.
your person is a triathlon competitor?
Yeah.
That would be
That would
Yeah.
fit in the fitness lane.
right. That makes
The lane of
sense now.
fitness.
Right.
Right? Oh, okay. We move our bodies, you know,
Yeah, we
we're
express-
fit, we're
Yes.
physically fit, right?
Right.
Because we have to be attracted
What
to
about
each other.
chess?
Huh?
Chess.
Chess? What the
It's
fuck
a
are you talking
sport.
about? Chess? Shut the fuck up.
kidding.
Shut up. Chess?
Chess is sport.
Girl. Oh.
It's still you're mentally.
yeah, I
fit.
guess, you know, I guess so.
But no, I'm
I guess
joking
so.
here. But
you know what? Actually, yeah. Even people would
chess,
question
yeah.
bodybuilding being a sport.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Which, anyways, that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other thing because I
Yeah.
actually once went out on a date
Yeah.
with a guy, and you know I'm not gonna name him when this didn't go anywhere. But the one thing I said to him, I made a comment in one of sometimes, and I said I'm an athlete because I bodybuild.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was very
And now you know right away
be
there.
respectful here, but
Yeah.
like, do you know the amount of effort it takes
Yeah.
and the discipline? And again, that's why I joked about chess. But at the same time, even chess players, professional chess players, they put it's the dedication. They put the hours. They put they make the sacrifices to be on top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe there's the fit and
And
maybe we're
but-
getting down to the idea that it's about the mentality of an athlete, that it may not vibe with a person who does not have that mentality when
Exactly.
you're dating them.
like you can have somebody respect you and what you're doing, but then at the same time, if they're not also living and breathing that, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's like the same thing like religion. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
It's who you are.
It's who you
right?
are.
It's who you are. At the end of the day, as a couple, like you have to both agree on the same big things in life. You know?
Yeah.
But if you can't agree on the little things, it's okay, you know, like folding towels or like, I don't fucking know. You can just agree on those things, right? But the dishes, you know, Jeff
Yeah.
gives me shit all the time for the
Who's
dishes.
putting
you
out
know?
the garbage?
He's OCD. I'm kind of a little less, right? So he always, you know, he'll be like, babe, and he'll yell at me, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what did I do now? Because there's nothing that I can do that's like perfect enough, you know? But those are micro things in a relationship.
And these are the cute things,
Yeah.
I think. This
But-
is what make keep the relationship spicy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and you know, we joke about it, whatever. It's funny. I'm never going to change and he's never going to change. And, you know, we make jokes. But we agree on the macro things together, right? The things that matter,
Yeah.
the big things. So, yeah, just food for thought, guys.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So I imagine it's kind of the same thing, and this just popped up in my head. I'm going on a date, and the first thing you gotta reintroduce yourself. The first thing I say is, I'm a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
First of all, I have to explain what a bodybuilder is, and second of all, how do you say it? Hi, I lift weights to build my body. I diet and starve myself to go on stage where I'm in bikini, in tan and makeup and hair.
Yeah.
So I get a medal, and maybe I don't get a medal, but I chase a pro card, and then we'll see. But I do like to do that. And
yeah. And there's a lot, everything you just said right there, there's a lot of different parts that challenge a relationship. 100%. Like, yeah.
the bikini on stage.
Oh, girl,
showing
you're
off
like
my
half
body.
naked. So you're like, here's my butt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have a level of like being secure in yourself.
Oh, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Like to date a bodybuilder.
Remember the time where we were talking about something and you said, here, like, message Jeff on Instagram. I remember you took my phone and followed him, and I said, are you sure? And you're like, girl.
Yeah, girl. I'm like, message him all you want.
Are you sure I can message you?
That was funny. That was funny.
And now when I see Jeff, I'm still like, hi.
Yeah. And like, honestly, being in bodybuilding, to be real, you see a lot of naked bodies, you know, when you're in it. Like, I've had a heart-to-heart with my girlfriend in the back of her butt-ass naked. And we're talking about guy problems, you know, and it like, you see so much, you know, and it's not, I mean, it's good, and like, I don't know, I guess good or bad, whatever, but you become desensitized to seeing bodies, right? Because you see a lot of like people in their little Speedos and their bikinis. So like for Jeff and I, because we're in the community and we go to shows, we look at body, we're like, oh, okay, whatever. Oh, a butt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but there's like, we're comfortable with that. We're around that. It's a sport, right? But then there's like, it's a sport, you know? And then there's people that are like, oh, she's so fucking hot, you know? And like, it's more like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That kind of vibe.
This is my inner monologue.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not that, I wouldn't say vain anymore. Kind of, because a big part of a relationship is when you meet someone, the first thing you do is you look at how they look.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
And
that's the lanes I was talking about,
yes.
guys. The lanes, you know, you got the lanes. You got people who work out. You got people that don't work out. You got people that like arts, right? Different types of a variety of people. You got people that are like guys that are more like construction worker, like blue collar, you know, then you got like your higher professional guys, you know, that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yes. Anyways,
but just all chiming in there. No, of course, because that actually makes sense. When you said the arts, I'm thinking to myself, how can I, if I'm dating, for example, an artist, I need to have a connection with them to understand, like, if, for example, I don't really understand art.
Yeah.
Because I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
Right? A painter or a sculpture, art. And I won't be able to, I want to give that person my attention, and I'm a naturally curious person. So I would love to learn about it, but I'm not sure I can try to understand and support them, and I will with my genuine intention. But when you don't understand it, can you really do it?
Can you really be their number one fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see we just like circled around there. That was good.
Yeah. But let me go back to the point of vanity, because I think it's an important one, because a lot of people get insecure about dating bodybuilders or people in the gym or fitness. There is the drama and kind of that environment of the gym environment being drama and this person hitting on this person. Yes. But I think where as bodybuilders a little bit separate ourselves from it, or at least people who take sports more seriously, even if it's in the fitness or triathlon or whatever you're training for, you look at the body, you don't look at the body from that perspective. I'm going to say it, I want to bang that.
Yeah.
You don't look at that body in that way. We're vain in a sense that we're trying to build the body in one way, but we're not vain in a sense is when I want to go and grab that body and just like,
I feel, yeah.
Sorry
people,
to show
like,
it because I'm sure.
It's true. It's true though. I think like people who aren't exposed to it and don't see it a lot, you know, like they see it and they're like, oh, like how many times have I been to a bodybuilding show and you see like the young guys and they're like, oh, like you can tell they're just all looking at like the girls, like, cause the girls look amazing, right? Yeah. But they've never seen anything like that before. So you see a lot of the guys and they like don't know how to behave, and it's like, it's like, but it's also like, it's not a strip club. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Like the amount of.
But I make sense, especially the bikini girls. We go on stage and we're like, here, look at our bum, and
all
like,
guys.
oh, the shoulder, and we're winking and stuff.
Yeah.
I do see why
all the guys front row.
I do see that we may be labeled as strippers, you know, but they do make money.
They do, but you don't make any. You don't make any money on stage.
Yeah. If Imagine
make any money.
standing, just people throwing money on the stage.
Oh my gosh, no.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I see that a lot, and it's funny, you know, because like people who've been in it for a long time, they like see the people who come in and watch the shows, and you're like, really? Like, it's, you know, it's the same thing. And over time, you just, yeah, like I said, like you just get so desensitized to it. But yeah, if you're not in it, then yeah, obviously you're like, holy shit, wow, you know, this is like free. Not free, you have to pay
you pay
fee to get in, but
it's still support. It's still support. It's still support.
Support, yeah,
supporting.
it is.
They're
It is.
supporting.
It is supporting. Yeah,
So they have a purpose to
yeah.
be there.
Yeah,
And the treat is
Yeah.
watching those bodies. And it's
yeah,
like, I hope it's something admirable, you know, for them to see. I wonder, guys, let us know
Yeah.
if you've been to a bodybuilding show or even Instagram or on YouTube or whatever. When you see a body that is wow, do you admire it? I wonder. I admire it.
yeah. That's why when I look at like bodybuilders, all I'm doing is like when you're in it, you're like, holy crap! You're like, that's a lot of work to like lose that body fat. You know, you're like, that
Yeah.
takes dedication. Like to see striations, shoulder cat, all the muscle. You're like, you get into a mindset where you're like, wow, I really appreciate that. That took a lot of work, and I know what it takes to do that. So like,
That
Yeah.
makes me think. That makes me think about then someone who, for example, is entering a relationship with a bodybuilder. I guess let's ease the anxiety of, again, we are not going to the gym and showing off our bodies to get attention, in a sense, to get,
yeah,
you know, sexual attention or whatever it is.
yeah.
We are doing it for the love of the sport, and we can love you equally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's the love of the sport. It has nothing, well, it does have to do with what you look like, but it's the
It's part of the
grind.
sport.
It's the grind. It's bodybuilding is not trendy. You know what I'm saying? It's
We're
not
trying
like-
to make it trendy. Let's keep
We're
trending.
trying-
Hashtag bodybuilding trending. Lift Her Weight podcast. We're trying to make bodybuilding trending because it's such
I'm
a
just so real about it
know.
because I've done 2 shows and I've been through that, and I know it takes so much work. Like, you're miserable. And I hate to be like a downer, but it is the truth.
Well, it is the truth.
It is the truth, and if anybody here is seriously considering a show, this is real talk, and this is out of love. This is like, you know, you have to really know what you're getting into. Talk to people who have done shows, get their experience on it. Everybody has a different take to it as well. My first show was fantastic. I loved it. I loved every moment of my first show, but it was probably because I had no idea what the heck I was doing, you know, and you're like new and you're like, oh, this is so good. You know, I'm going to go on stage. And then my second show came and it was complete opposite, you know? And, I think, it's important. It's important to, value how difficult it can be. And it's because there's so many different things that interplay into a bodybuilding prep, in your life too, right? Like, some people do bodybuilding shows to get away from things that they're dealing with, right? Some people get into bodybuilding shows, because it is a great time in their life and they want to, add a reward to it or something to look forward to, you know? So there's so many different reasons to do it.
I know some people get a lot of women get into bodybuilding to reconnect with their bodies.
Yeah.
To kind of, even in later life, to be able to feel like they have control and beauty.
Yes.
And rediscover their beauty.
Yes. And they
some
feel
people get over
themselves up.
addiction.
Yes.
Through bodybuilding because I don't drink alcohol, but some people I know it's helped them get over addiction.
Yeah.
And to alcohol or cigarettes or unhealthy lifestyle.
Yes. 100%.
It's different, and yeah, it's love at
There's-
the end of the day.
Yeah.
For the sport and for yourself.
Yeah.
So when we say we're selfish, we mean we love it for ourselves because we can enrich our partners' lives.
Yeah.
And everyone, our families, children, whoever you are, the sport teaches us discipline.
Yeah.
It teaches us grind.
Yes, it teaches you everything about life. That's why I love bodybuilding, because it literally, like, you're put through the ringer. Every part of you is tested, and that's why I say it's hard, but it's worth it. Because if you don't know anything about delayed gratification, bodybuilding will teach that to you.
It even teaches you your body how it would function under so much stress.
Yes.
Because you often, your body, when you're working out, your muscles, when you're tearing them down and pushing, or even when you're low calories, your body goes into a fight or flight, and that's why you would get adrenaline rush, or and so it actually, and then but you need to be in your head, and you need to be pushing, and it's really makes you more resilient to stress. Essentially, that's what you're doing. You're putting your body under so much stress.
Yeah.
And then you function under that stress.
You're uncomfortable as hell. You're so uncomfortable. But then when you're like, oh my gosh, I can have food again. I can live again. And then you feel uncomfortable in those moments. Literally, I catch myself. I'm like, at least I have food now. Like, at least, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I'm tired, whatever. But at least, like, if I want to, like, I can go eat some carbs right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, because I had a person who he's a very big part of my life. He's one of my big mentors. He messaged me this week, text message, because I posted that story of my posing. Well, my coach posted it and I reposted it.
Yeah.
And he said to me, oh, it looks like you're ready for competition. And I said, I'm in my hungry phase now.
Yeah.
I'm in my hungry phase, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, when I have a tough day, I cannot go eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's like that grind, it's that resilience, it's that mental, it's all about that mental strength. Really changing your mindset. You're hungry? Okay, let's go mini putting. You're hungry? Okay, let's stop thinking about food. That thinking about food I'm thinking about no. That mental strength to be like, no, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to drink some water. If you can have EAAs at that point in prep, then you can drink them in your water. But it's all about the mindset. Everything else is just a bonus, really. Like the physique, what you learn from it. It all goes, it's really deeply rooted into who you are. So if you need
a survival, if the apocalypse comes, and if there's zombies or anything, you need a survival buddy, I think us bodybuilders are very good. We may push
starve
through
ourselves.
Survivors. Yeah, we'll starve ourselves. We're going through the grind. Zombies, no problem.
Yeah.
Here's more protein. I'm kidding. But I think the sport is we should make it trending, because the sport is so enriching.
Yeah.
It's such a discipline, and it enriches relationships too.
Yeah.
I mean, even think about it. You are also helping your partner be patient with you too, right? So there's a lot of perspectives.
There's so many. There's so many different perspectives, so many different stories about all of this. I hear so much.
Well, guys, if there was something we inspired you, maybe you have some thoughts on dating fitness people, bodybuilding, or you've had your stories in fitness and bodybuilding, let us know, and we look forward to hearing from you. And until next week.